I'm okay with it. Greetings to all who have gathered here tonight. To the Chair of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Basheen Welch, to the members of the Board of Trustees in attendance tonight, to the directors of the Board of the Alabama School of Fine Arts Foundation in attendance tonight, and to all of the parents, family, and friends who are gathered with us here tonight. Welcome to the 51st commencement of the Alabama School of Fine Arts. We're going to take a moment to pause here for a special recognition. For more than half of all those years of graduations here at the Alabama Theater and going back in school history, the graduation has been organized and led by Miss Melanie Lee. And Miss Lee is leaving us and retiring. And so we want to recognize all the graduations this Miss Lee has led us through, including this one tonight. And would you please join me in a standing ovation for Miss Lee? Thank you very much, Melanie. It is now my honor and my privilege to share with you a reading of the notable accomplishments and achievements of the senior class of 2023. But please note, my list only includes senior year. That makes this all the more impressive to share with you tonight. The 54 graduates of the class of 2023 have earned over $11.9 million in scholarship offers. That's an extraordinary 89% of the class who were awarded merit scholarships and offers. And what's better, 91% of those scholarships are renewable, most for up to 4 years. That's a total of 258 total scholarships for this group. They were admitted to 109 different colleges, conservatories, art schools, and more. And I encourage you to check it out in the program later. 54% are attending college in Alabama. 35% are going out of state. 2% is going out of the country. That's one person who gets to be 2%, which is great. And 4 are taking a gap year, and 1 has already started their own business and will be running that business in the arts. A lot of senior achievements this year took place on our campus. For dance, we had 11 main stage dance performances. For creative writing, we had the release of the Cadence magazine and 2 senior readings and 1 creative writing senior showcase. For math science, we had 1 senior symposium and we had 13 research projects. And 250 students were hosted for the ASFA math tournament. Under music, we had 8 senior music recitals. We had 12 main stage music performances. Under theater arts, we had 19 theater arts main stage performances and showcases. Under visual arts, we had 2 senior exhibitions. Overall at the school, including seniors, 222 AP exams were administered. There was Get Active Day, Make a Difference Day, a senior retreat, a senior lock-in, a coffee house, and a Black History Month showcase by the Black Student Union, and others. And now, some of the state and national awards that were won off campus. National Merit Scholarship finalists: William Bittner, Dexter Gard, Parker Hull, and Levi Johnson. National Merit $2,500 scholarship winner, Daniel Zhao. United States Presidential Scholars Program candidates, Jesse Seidel, Daniel Zhao. The National Young Arts Association Zeta Ross Merit Award for Visual Arts, Atticus Hill Honorable Mention for Writing and Spoken Word, and Merritt Crumpton finalist in Visual Arts. The National Youth Orchestra, Diana Nazarenko. The College Board National Recognition Program for excelling on College Board assessments and also in the classroom, earning this recognition because of their academic achievements in school and outstanding performance on the NMSQT and the PSAT and/or the APs. Joey Schaefer, National Hispanic Recognition Award. The Questbridge National College Match, this year for 4 years at Rice University, Stephen Tran. The Alabama All-State Festival Orchestra, Aaron Wass, Diana Nazarenko, Aidan Barry, Natalie Lance, Levi Johnson. The Alabama All-State Symphonia Orchestra, Nathan Garrett and Sophie Sikorsky. The Alabama North All-Region Philharmonic Orchestra, Aaron Wass, Diana Nazarenko, Jordan Lambert Wright, Sophie Sikorsky. The Alabama South All-Region Philharmonic Orchestra, Aidan Barry and Natalie Lance. The Alabama All-State Jazz Band, Marek Ledvina, Parker Hull, and Jordan Lambert Wright. I think that's Ledvina. Yep, Ledvina, my apologies. Alabama Symphony's Lois Pickard Concerto Competition. Diana Nazarenko, second place in the string division with a prize of $750, and William Edberg, second place brass winds percussion division with a prize of $750. The Regional Science Bowl state champions, Daniel Zhao and Dexter Gard. The Alabama All-State High School Band, Jordan Lambert Wright and Natalie Lance. The Alabama State Thespian Competition, for solo acting with superior rating, Campbell Pate. The Gorgas Research Scholarship Competition, finalist Ryan Debro, Sanjana Chada, and Gorgas Scholarship winner with a prize of $1,500, Daniel Zhao. And now bear with me while I say this correctly. The Alabama Junior Academy of Science, in third place for life sciences, Sanjana Chadha, for changes in gut microbiome correlate with lung morbidity and mortality post-toxic gas exposure. Third place in medicine and health, behavior, and social sciences, Ryan Debro, for how to treat dandruff using artificial intelligence. Poetry Out Loud regional competition, Will Bittner, third place, social issue category. The Alabama Science and Engineering Fair, Jocelyn Peterson won the Provost Award. Two students were chosen to attend the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, Jocelyn Peterson and Daniel Zhao. And the following students won additional awards at that fair. Arsalan Ahmad, third place for Animal, Plant, Computational, and Bioinformatics Science. Sahana Danti, first place for Behavior and Social Sciences. Jocelyn Peterson, third place in Behavior and Social Sciences. Stephen Tran, second place for Physics, Astronomy, and Mathematics. Daniel Zhao, third place for Robotic Systems and Communication Technology. Further additional awards, Jocelyn Peterson won the Southern Research Diversity in Science Award, sponsored by Southern Research Institute, with a prize of $100. Jocelyn Peterson also won first place from the 100 Women Strong Achievement Award, sponsored by 100 Women Strong at Auburn University, with a prize of $150. Daniel Zhao, Innovation of Robotic Systems, sponsored by Southeastern Center of Robotics Education at Auburn University, with a prize of $200. Stephen Tran, Talent in Mathematics and Statistics Award, sponsored by the Department of Mathematics and Statistics at Auburn University, with a prize of $200. Arsalan Ahmed, VCOM Award, sponsored by the Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine, with a prize of $100. Sahana Danti, Innovation in Human Sciences Award, sponsored by Dean of Human Sciences at Auburn University, with a prize of $200. The Alabama Music Educators AVA Solo and Ensemble Competition, Ireland Tillison received a superior rating. Kendall Thompson received a perfect score. The Alabama National Association of Teachers of Singing Competition, Ireland Tillison, first place, Kendall Thompson, third place. Good thing you were soloists together tonight. Alabama All-State Choir, Ireland Tillison and Kendall Thompson. The High School Literary Arts Award, sponsored by the Alabama Writers Forum. For the magazine Cadence, exceptional literary content. For Izzy Cox, the Joseph David Trimble II Senior Portfolio Scholarship, as well as first place for poetry and a judge's special recognition for fiction. Will Bittner, the judge's special recognition, fiction, certificates of merit, and creative nonfiction, long essay, and poetry. Atticus Hill, Certificate of Merit for Poetry. Youth in Service Award finalist, William Bittner. And at the 2023 statewide high school juried art exhibit, Best in Mixed Media, Merritt Crumpton. So it is fair to say, as we say back on campus, they slay. The class of 2023 has no cap. All right, please join me in an ovation for the senior class of 2023. We'd like to recognize the class longevity recognition now. First, we'll be asking six-year art seniors except the theater department. Six-year art seniors except theater department, please rise. So, if you don't know our lingo, that means they started in 7th grade. That's Madeline McAllister, Igrena Hill, Levi Johnson, Diana Nazarenko, Kanya Hinton, Zeta Ross, and Leslie Russum. And now we'd like to recognize the 5-year seniors that entered at the first year that they could, which includes math and science and theater. All right. For math and science, that's Arsalan Ahmad, Gates Arnold, Becker Bargothi, Sanjana Chadha, Sanhana Dante, Jocelyn Peterson, Jesse Seidel, Stephen Tran, and Daniel Zhao. And for theater, Campbell Pate and Joshua Roderkus. I would now like to invite to the podium Will Bittner and Jocelyn Peterson to introduce tonight's commencement speaker.
Good evening. I'm Jocelyn Peterson, a senior in the Math Science Department.
And I'm William Bittner, a senior in the Creative Writing Department. We are honored to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Dr. Graham Boettcher.
Dr. Graham Boettcher is the director and CEO of the Birmingham Museum of Art, having previously served in the museum for almost 17 years as a curatorial fellow of American art, curator, chief curator, and deputy director. Dr. Boettcher is originally from Washington and received undergraduate and doctoral degrees from Yale University and a master's degree from the University of Washington. His many exhibitions include The Look of Love, Eye Miniatures from the Skier Collection, which was an Architectural Digest Season's Best Museum Show, and Black Like Who, exploring race and representation, a Wall Street Journal's Don't Miss exhibit, which he co-produced.
A few weeks ago, several ASFA students were given the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Boettcher for lunch to discuss what we love about ASFA and its community, and what we've learned from our high school journey in some of the weirdest years of human history. We are deeply grateful to Dr. Boettcher for allowing us to help shape this year's commencement speech that will send us into our futures, each distinct yet connected, what Teddy Roosevelt called the hard work of the world and the many-sided beauty of life.
And without further ado, we would like to welcome the commencement speaker for the graduating class of 2023, Dr. Graham Boettcher.
Thank you, Will and Jocelyn, for that kind introduction. Good evening, members of the Alabama School of Fine Arts class of 2023, family and friends, faculty and staff, and members of the board. It is a pleasure to be with you and an honor to have the opportunity to speak tonight. In my role as Executive Director of the Birmingham Museum of Art, I do a lot of public speaking. In fact, just yesterday I spoke at a national conference of zoo and aquarium leaders held at the Birmingham Zoo. However, this gig is special, not only because ASFA and the BMA are neighbors, but also because during my 17 years in Birmingham, I've had many opportunities to interact with ASFA students and alumni, whether interviewing seniors for college or working alongside an ASFA alumnus as a cherished colleague, the museum's longtime exhibition designer, Terry Beckham. Among ASFA students and alums I've gotten to know, I've always been impressed by your intellectual curiosity, your problem-solving skills, and your desire to have a positive impact on the world around you. I also confess a tinge of envy. As a dedicated theater kid in high school, I can't help but think what productions would have been possible if my little high school in a rural farm town in Washington State had the beautiful facilities you enjoy at ASFA. I'm also going to confess to you that I'm feeling a little nervous about being up here tonight. Despite being a frequent speaker in my professional role, the last time I addressed a graduation class was when I stood before my own classmates at Burlington Edison High School in the spring of 1991. I have no memory of what I said that day, but I'm sure that my words in some way captured where and who I was at that moment in my life, an 18-year-old who was yearning to get out of his small town, see the world, and have a unique experience all his own. When Mark Twain told us to write what you know, he dispensed what would become one of the most repeated bits of advice in history. Years later, in a wry twist, poet laureate Howard Nemeroff wrote, "Write what you know, that should leave you with a lot of free time." Tonight, following a variation of Mark Twain's advice, I've decided to speak about what I know. And if we are to believe Howard Nemeroff's retort, you're in luck, because I won't surpass the 20-minute time limit I've been given. Now, what do I know? For the past 6 years as executive director of the museum, my days are filled with fundraising, budget meetings, capital projects, contract reviews, and the like. Tim, this sounds familiar to you, doesn't it? Don't worry, I'm not going to talk with you about that this evening. Before I became director, I worked for many years as the museum's curator of American art. I know curating. Now, you may be wondering, and rightly so, what curating a collection of art has to do with you as you leave ASFA and write the next chapter in your lives. In his 1889 essay, The Decay of Lying, Oscar Wilde wrote, quote, "Life imitates art far more than art imitates life." I propose to you that the strategies curators use to shape and refine collections of art may also contain valuable ideas for living our own lives. To be sure, the word curate has been overused and abused in recent years. As Alex Williams observed in the New York Times, quote, "The word curate has become a fashionable code word among the aesthetically minded who seem to paste it onto any activity that involves culling and selecting," end quote. How many of you have heard or read something along the lines of, "We offer a carefully curated selection of artisanal cheeses for your enjoyment"? The word curate is not a synonym for choosing or selecting, though choosing and selecting works of art for a collection or an exhibition is part of what curators do. By definition, a curator is, quote, "one who has the care and superintendency of something, especially one in charge of a museum, zoo, or other place of exhibit." The term came into use in 1561 and derives from the Latin word curare, meaning to care. In Britain, for many years, museum curators were called keepers, which preserves the notion that curators keep and care for the collections they oversee. We are the best curators of our own lives. Yes, we do rely on one another to care for us, our parents, our teachers, our friends and family, certainly our healthcare providers. But at the end of the day, no one looks after us better than we look after ourselves. In times of stress and personal trauma, self-care can become more theory than practice, but each of us possesses the ability to curate our own life in a way that is satisfying and fulfilling. Here are a few ideas to keep in mind. Number one, seek the advice of others and be generous with your own expertise. While curators generally possess a great deal of expertise in one particular area or field of inquiry, it's impossible for one person to know everything when they need to know to do everything they need to know to do their job without leaning on the expertise of others. We learn and build our expertise through doing and through asking questions of those who have done before us. Just as curators seek out knowledge from fellow curators and scholars around the world, tap into your own network of experts, wherever you may find them. Although we are often conditioned to walk alone due to the value our society places on self-determination and so-called rugged individualism, sometimes it truly does take a village to point you to the right path. Everyone in this room is already expert in something or many things. Be generous with your time and expertise when others come calling. Not only will it be remembered, but sharing with others will help you gain a better understanding of the power of your own knowledge and also help you see where you may still need to seek out additional information or skills to round out or refine your expertise. Number two, build relationships. In the professional world, there's a lot of emphasis placed on networking, and thanks to social media, it has never been easier to build and maintain both professional and personal networks. But building relationships is a lot more than the analog task of working the room and collecting business cards or connecting to others via the social media platform of your choice. Real relationships are built through being interested in others, taking the time to develop a connection with them, and showing up for them. Being an effective curator requires sustained relationships not only with one's immediate colleagues, fellow curators, educators, exhibition designers, registrars, and security guards among them, but also a large network of trusted professionals, including artists, art dealers, donors, auction house representatives, conservators, archivists, librarians, and peers at other museums, just to name a few. Do not approach relationships as transactional. I need to know this person because I want them to do something for me. Rather, the first time you meet someone, make sure that you extend your hand in friendship rather than extending your hand with the expectation that it will be filled with something in return. To be sure, most relationships do yield mutually beneficial awards to both parties in their own time, but that should be the byproduct of relationships, not their sole reason for being. Years ago, an author from Princeton, New Jersey named Caroline Seebohm, whom I'd never met, asked to meet with me during her research trip to Alabama, where she was investigating the life and work of a Selma-born sculptor named Anne Weaver Norton. While I had done research on my own on Norton's famous aunt, the Tiffany window designer Clara Weaver Parrish, I wasn't sure what information I had that could be helpful to her. I took the meeting nonetheless, and the author and I quickly discovered that we had a lot of mutual interests. The initial meeting resulted in a long friendship. She later asked me to read and comment on her manuscript for the publisher, and I ended up writing a quote for the back of the book jacket when her book was finally published. Through the course of getting to know Caroline, I came to admire Anne Weaver Norton's work and expressed that it would be a good fit for our museum's collection. Only one problem. Norton's work almost never comes up for sale. I had resigned myself to the fact that an example of Norton's sculpture probably wasn't in the cards for the BMA. A couple of years had passed when I got an email from a woman in Paris who had found an example of Norton's work at a small auction house that she wished to sell. How did she know I was looking for a work by Norton? She had reached out to Caroline Seebohm, author of the book on Norton, who in turn mentioned my interest in the artist and gave her my contact information. That acquisition never would have come to pass without the relationship I had built with Caroline years earlier. This is just one of countless examples I could share of when a long-standing relationship led to something important and beneficial for our museum, but I reiterate, relationships should be an end in themselves, not a means to an end. Number 3, know your limit. On May 20th, 2009, I arrived at the Spring American Art Sale at Christie's Auction House in New York. Authorized to bid up to $1 million, I was there to do business and acquire a work by the Hudson River School landscape painter Thomas Cole for the BMA's collection. The bidding went fast and furious. One by one, the other bidders dropped out until there were just 2 of us bidding in the room on opposite sides of the aisle from one another. Each of us raised our paddle to bid against one another, and the audience's heads turned from side to side as if watching a match at Wimbledon. The bids proceeded in increments of $50,000, and I placed my final bid at $950,000, which was quickly countered by the other bidder at $1 million. I had reached my limit and was quickly countered by the other bidder. I had to drop out and leave the painting to the other guy. My heart was pounding out of my chest. And as I left the room to get some air, an American art dealer who has become one of my closest friends in the art world and a trusted advisor pulled me aside to console me. She shared that the person bidding against me had no limit. He was bidding on behalf of the collector Ned Johnson, head of the Boston-based firm Fidelity Investments, who had a personal net worth in excess of $8 billion. I guess that knowing that I had no snowball's chance in hell of getting the painting did make me feel a little better. But it's what my friend shared next that reversed my fortune. She said, "Haven't you been looking for a painting by Robert Scott Duncanson?" Now, for those of you who don't know Duncanson, Robert S. Duncanson was one of the foremost African-American landscape painters of the 19th century in the United States. His work is exceedingly rare, as most of it is already in major collections of significant museums such as the Smithsonian American Art Museum. I replied that I had indeed been looking for an example of Duncanson's work, but had nearly given up because most of what I had been shown by dealers either had condition issues or were landscapes from his time in Canada. What I really wanted was one of his Italian landscapes, which I felt represented his strongest work. Always go for the best you can afford. There was just one problem, however. All of his major Italian subjects were already in museums, except for one painting entitled A Dream of Italy that had remained in private hands for nearly a century. My friend shared that another dealer had a Duncanson that I absolutely had to see as soon as possible. Trusting my friend, I immediately left Christie's and headed to a gallery on the Upper East Side, and there, on an easel in the gallery owner's office, was none other than the Duncanson painting I wanted most, his 1865 canvas, A Dream of Italy. That painting now belongs to the Birmingham Museum of Art. The only reason we had the money to buy it is because I didn't get the Thomas Cole painting I set out to buy. I set a limit and stuck to it. Although I was temporarily disappointed, that quickly turned to delight. Now, to be sure, the Thomas Cole painting I bid on would have been an important acquisition for the BMA, but in terms of its overall significance, it was just another strong example of Cole's work, whereas the Duncanson we acquired is one of his single finest works. In life, set and adhere to reasonable limits and boundaries with your time, with your activities, with your relationships. With no disrespect to the multiverse, you don't have to do, be, or have everything everywhere all at once. Bide your time, wait for the right thing, not the right now thing. Number 4, don't follow the pack. The final line of Robert Frost's 1915 poem, The Road Not Taken, reads, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Too many curators fall into the habit of walking the road most traveled by their colleagues. Rather than making acquisitions that feel different and unique from those at other institutions, they simply replicate what their colleagues are doing elsewhere, resulting in an art world version of the Flavor of the Month Club. Of course, we have the expression that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but consider how boring it would be if what you saw on the walls of one museum was nearly indistinguishable from what you saw on the walls of the next. Case in point, back in 1983, the Birmingham Museum of Art decided it wanted to buy a painting by Georgia O'Keeffe. After much searching and deliberation, the museum acquired a painting by O'Keeffe from 1922 depicting a green apple on a black plate against a stark white background. The painting is not what one really thinks of when one thinks of O'Keeffe. Where are the references to the desert Southwest? Where are the flowers with their suggestive forms? The work was painted at a time in O'Keeffe's career when she was focused on depicting objects as ends in themselves, not for any symbolic meaning. In other words, she was trying to paint the thinginess of things. It's clearly a professional term, the thinginess of things. Although some donors questioned the museum's choice at the time, the work has proven to be among the museum's most significant acquisitions because of its singularity. It is distinct from the many other paintings in O'Keeffe's body of work that are similar to one another, and therefore this distinctive work is in high demand for nearly all the retrospectives of her work. Don't follow the pack. March to the beat of your own drum. I'll stop with the cliches. Charting your own course is the best way to curate a distinctive and unique collection, and also a way to lead an authentic and fulfilling life. As you curate your life, be the version of you that you want to be. Number 5, refine your collection. Rarely are private or museum collections completely static. Collections are like living organisms that change over time. What was a good fit for the BMA's collection when it was founded in 1951 may not be a good fit for it now. And collections are honed and refined not only through acquisitions, but through a process called deaccessioning, in which we sell works of art that are no longer a good fit for our collection and use those funds to acquire new works that are. There is nothing that says that the collection you start with is the one you have to end up with. One of my favorite quotes comes from an essay by Ralph Waldo Emerson in which he writes, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds." Now, maybe I just like the mental image of little hobgoblins running around in our heads, but think about what that really means. We often hesitate to deviate from the norm, to break out of routines, to do things differently because we are adhering to the way things have always been done. No great collection was ever formed by a rigid adherence to sameness. Great collectors take chances and switch up the game. They go down paths less traveled and rabbit holes. As you curate your life, don't be afraid to offload things that aren't working for you and acquire new things, whether it's a job, a skill, a hobby, that are a better fit for where you are at that moment in your life. Number 6, last but not least, trust your instincts. An oft-repeated expression in the art world is to trust your eye. When evaluating a work of art for inclusion in a collection or an exhibition, it's easy to get hung up on things that are extraneous to the work of art itself. For example, if the work was previously owned by someone famous or was in a prominent exhibition. Yes, such things can give a work of art a certain cool factor. But at the end of the day, what matters most is the power of the work of art itself to make a connection with the viewer. Through looking at and experiencing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of works over time, curators train their eyes and develop good instincts about what makes one work of art better than another within a particular artist's body of work. As we go through life and accrue lived experience, we similarly develop instincts which help us navigate. However, sometimes rather than trusting those instincts, we talk ourselves out of good decisions or let ourselves be too easily swayed by the persuasiveness of others, even when our gut is telling us to walk away or move in a different direction. Listen to your inner voice. It usually has something important to say. To prepare for my remarks this evening, last month I had the chance to meet with several members of the class of 2023, and I would like to thank Drew, Leslie, Kevin, Will, Parker, Daniel, Sahana, Oliver, and Joshua for sharing with me some of the experiences that have shaped your time at ASFA and your respective outlooks on the future. Speaking about how the pandemic brought this class closer together, if my notes are correct, I think it was you, Will, who said, "The awkwardness of high school had just been punctured by the strangeness of what we'd all just been through." I was struck by the strength you all showed in the face of the challenges and obstacles created by a global pandemic. I have no doubt that this resilience will only benefit you in the years to come. To all of the members of the class of 2023, I am confident that you will continue to live your lives in significant and fulfilling ways. Remember, however, that curators don't curate collections and exhibitions solely for their own benefit. They do it to connect the communities they serve with the experience, meaning, and joy of art. As you curate your own lives, remember your connection to one another, to the world around you, and to the communities you call home, and the potential that the way you curate your own life has to affect a positive impact on others. Thank you.
I now invite Dr. Brad Hill, the Vice President of Specialty and Academic Studies, to join me on stage to verify the readiness of the class of 2023. Dr. Hill, are the members of the class of 2023 gathered here with us tonight worthy of all of the rights and responsibilities pertaining to a degree from the Alabama School of Fine Arts.
They are worthy.
Dr. Hill, please stand by while I invite Dr. Basheen Welch, the Chair of the Board of Trustees, to join us on the stage for the conferral statement. Class of 2023, please rise. Under the enabling legislation of the Alabama State Legislature, and by the authority given me by the duly appointed members of the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer these degrees upon the 2023 graduating class of the Alabama School of Fine Arts. I now invite Dr. Hill to the podium for the awarding of the diplomas.
Graduates of the Creative Writing Department: William Wayne Boettcher. Isabel Colette Cox. Kevin Cristino. Atticus Cobb Hill. Graduates of the Dance Department: Zoe Gabriel Horton. Madeline Marianne McAllister. Paige Alyssa Scott. Alexandria Lee Sullen. Graduates of the Math and Science Department: Arsalan Ahmad. Gates Edward Arnold. Becker Murad Barghouti. Sarah Grace Buchanan. Sanjana Reddy Chada. Drew Debro. Sahana Dante. Dexter Lance Guard. Jocelyn Kalani James Peterson. Zoe Adriana Schaefer. Jesse Paul Seidel. Stephen Jr. Tran. Daniel Yu Zhao. Graduates of the music department. Aiden James Berry. William Shee Edberg. Nathan Raymond Garrett. Igrena Grace Hill. Parker Hull. Levi Johnson. Natalie Ann Lance. Marek Robert Ledvina. Rayan Saeed Saleh Idris Muhammad. Diana Nazarenko. Andrew Parker Robertson. Amber Marie Rocker. Sophie Falcon Sikorsky. Kendall Nicole Thompson. Ireland Sky Tillison. Erin Victoria Wass. Jordan Frank Wright Lamberts. Graduates of the Theater Arts Department. McKinley Camille Beavers. Justin Michael Duncan. Oliver Hlatland. Ridgeway Harris Murphy. Campbell Lee Pates. Joshua Stefan Raudikus. Ashton Brooke Lachey Smith. Graduates of the Visual Arts Department. Cody Lauren Campbell. Merritt Lindsay Crumpton. Maisie Grace Davis. Kanaya Lenora Hinton. Emily Irene Lobser. Tishanti Crystal Poon. Zeta Blythe Winlon Ross. Leslie Kate Russum. Destiny Unique Tarver. I now present to you the Alabama School of Fine Arts graduating class of 2023.